Welcome. I am very excited about sharing this class with you. This is cross yoga, but it's also cross training, as I'll mix different training modalities, both yoga, strength training, and then a little bit of cardio. To really get the maximum of this class, please find something that reminds you of a strap, a scarf, something like that, and even some weights. You can absolutely do everything without weights if you prefer. So I'll encourage you to use weights if you're used to working out, really engaging your core, because that's the most important thing in this class. So bring that along if you want to. We'll begin standing and just a little bit of breathing, and I'll share a little bit of a fun story that was a surprise to me when I read it just this morning. So get yourself grounded with the feet somewhat apart, standing tall. And as we breathe, you can either move a little bit if you prefer, or just stand still. That's completely up to you. But take a few deep breaths, maybe sigh out. Release what you need to release and let go of. If you believe in God, you might remind yourself that you are seen and known. And whatever is filling you up, positively or negatively, there's no secrets. God sees you, still loves you. And he smiles at us as we move and have some fun here on the mat. You might know the story about Moses from the Old Testament. He was the guy that took the Jewish people from Egypt and kind of went into that promised land, and where they were living in Israel for a long time. Now, before he started doing all that, God was calling Moses, and there's a long story, you might know it. But what you might not know is that Moses had lots of problems. He actually did not want to go, even though God was calling him. And then it says here in Exodus 4, Moses said, please, send somebody else, right? I am slow of speech and tongue. Got so many excuses. And then the Lord said, what about your brother, Aaron, the Levite? I know he can speak well. He's already on his way to meet you, and his heart will be glad when he sees you. You shall speak to him and put words into his mouth, and I'll help both of you speak and teach you what to do. He'll speak to the people for you, and will be as your mouth and as you were God to him. So what's the point with reading this? It is that Moses is not the beautiful leader of everybody. He is in need. So we often have this picture that Moses is a great leader, and he is doing those presentations and talking, all that. But actually, Aaron was the guy that did the talking. Moses might be the man behind it, the leader, but Aaron would use his words and speak. It's a teamwork. And we'll be using our weights, we'll be using the strap also as a team as we move here on our mat to help us gain strength, gain maybe more confidence as we move. And just remind yourself that you are not called to be perfect. You're not called to do everything. Maybe there are errands in your life, people that you need to help you, support you in what God has called you to do. Now bring your hands overhead and go for a little bit of a bend to each side, opening up the side. Don't go to the deepest of things, but you might do a little bit of bouncing from left to right here. And then soften your knees, drop forward in your forward fold. Connecting to the hamstrings, the back of the legs. Bending one leg at a time. And then finding chair pose or a squat, whatever workout or movement traditions you are most used to. Bring your arms aligned with the ears and maybe you bounce a little bit. How are your knees doing today? How is your hip doing? Rise up tall, go for a short. Opening up the chest so you bring your elbows back, open up, lean back. Stretch out the arms, bring them down towards the side. And then inhale, reach the arms up, cactus arms. Bring your elbows behind the shoulder blade and squeeze them back and down as almost like they would meet there. And do that a few times. Now keep the spine completely still. What tends to happen is that we move the hip back in order to bring the elbows back. Look at my back, not really healthy. So bringing the hip in, supporting. As I do a few of these. Last one. And then you drop forward, forward fold. And depending on where you were standing on the mat, you step back or walk back into your down dog. Again, a little bit of movement. And then you can walk your hands towards the feet, to the back of the mat, most likely. And then walk your hands to the front of the mat. Find your plank. Again, toes or knees. And then walk your feet to the top end of the mat, fold forward. Keep the hands down, walk your feet back, finding plank. See what we're doing there? Walk your hands back towards your feet. Warming up our shoulders. Walk your hands forward. Finding plank. And then you might stay here for a little bit. Breathe. Always welcome to move. And then walk your hands last time back towards the back end of the mat. Rising up here. Reach the arms up overhead and then you take your right foot and step it forward. It might not be the largest step you ever took. Gonna go for a little bit of a lunge, dynamic variation. So you bring your hands down towards the side, lower down the back knee. And lift up, stretch both legs, a little bit of balance here. So, warming up. This I would also do in my fitness strength classes with my shoes on though. You're welcome to have your shoes on if you happen to love that. 2 more times, all the way down and up. Then maybe you stretch both legs, fold forward. If the floor is super far away, you might just bend your knees a little bit. Then both hands on the floor, step back, finding plank on toes or knees, lower down, chest towards the floor, and then lift your chest up, that baby cobra. Use the strength of your arm, finding down dog. Walking your hands back. Standing tall, maybe a little bit of a back bend. Notice what feels good. Left foot, step forward, reach the arms up, ready to lunge, down with the back knee and rise up. Again, notice that your spine is tall and the vertebrae are stacked on top of each other. Of course, with a little bit of a extension and bending in the spine. Your spine is not completely straight. Thank God. 3, 2, and 1. Leaning forward, I'm stretching both legs a little bit at least. Stepping back with the front foot plank. Elbows in as much as you can by the ribs. Lower down. Maybe this time just hover over the floor before you take off into your up dog. And then down dog. Let's do a little bit more. Right leg, lift it out, open up the hip. I'm bending my knee and drawing the heel towards the butt as best as possible. And then bring the right knee towards the left elbow in plank. We're going to do that 3 times. 1, open up the hip. Find gluteus medius there. Again, knee towards left elbow. 2. Open up the hip out to the side. Last 1. 3. Then you just bring the leg back and then the right foot to the top end of the mat where your right hand is. Now you can find your weights. I might go for heavier weights. I'll have to see eventually. Again, lunging down and bending my elbows, bicep curl. So lots of things going on here. It's going to go for 7. Not too quick. 6. Push through the front heel. 5. 4. Not following the breath here. I think this is a bit too quick for me. 3. 2. And 1. Then turn on the mat into your wide distance. And just turn so you can see the screen. All right. Then you bring your elbows here. Align them with the shoulders. Stay strong with your feet. Actually, maybe your toes are pointing slightly out. And then bring your elbows out like this. And in. Again, let the core stay strong and steady. If you want more, you might squat in this horse stance. Wide-legged squat. When we do this, make sure the toes and knees keep track of each other. Ooh, I feel this in my arms by now. 4. No need to let the elbows meet in front of you. 3. Push the knees out. 2. And 1. Put the weight down at the top end of the mat. You're going to grab them eventually back heel off. Step back, down dog. Maybe you sigh out. Shake your arms. Now all that on the opposite side. Left leg. Here we go. Up. Open up the hip. Bend the knee. Really draw the heel in. And let's go for left knee, right elbow. Here we go. Not too quick. You might exhale, sigh out as you move. Second time. Now you can always find the easier options coming down on the right knee. Last time. Bring the foot up and back and then to the front. Shake your hands out. Again, option of going with weights, lunges, bicep curls, second time around. Okay. Keeping my elbows somewhat still. Go for 4, 3, all the way down so the back knee is reaching the mat. 2, yeah, 1. And then you can go for the wide stance again so that you can best see the screen. toes yet again pointing out. We're going to go a little bit different this time. Weights here in front of you, squatting down. Now take a look at your own knees. If you don't want them to drop in, keep them out. Lifting up, upright row. So we want the elbows rising up towards the sky. And the weight doesn't come much higher than the shoulder, okay? That's plenty. Whew, even though I'm used to going heavier than this, my whole body is engaged here. As I'm not just doing squats or just upright row, I'm connecting these two movements. 3, 2, so much fun. 1. All right. Drop the weights to the top of the mat. What makes sense to you? Step back, down dog. Moving into plank. Inhale. Down to low plank. Exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Then you can jump or walk to the top of the mat. Fold forward, shake things out. And then stand up. Now I incorporate a little bit of cardio, depending on how quickly you move. So you're going to take the left leg and bring it back for a little bit of a kind of a twist with the leg. So I'm bringing my arms down here, reaching the floor, bring my arms up, and then the leg out to the side, trying to balance. Down and up. Now this, of course, you can do with your weights, and you can do it quicker. If your knees is saying, no thank you, you might just do this instead, squatting, lifting a little bit more, easy on, in your case, the right knee. Are you soon out of breath? Make sure you bend your knees as you touch the floor. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's just go for the opposite side. Now we're here. Come on, opposite side. And you can always start a little bit slower just to see if the balance is with you. The force is with you. I love that. I believe the force is always with me, right? God's force, even though I can't balance. Again, remember your squat options. And when you lift, in this case, your right knee, you can bend it a little bit. Makes it easier to lift. If you feel this in the outside of the left glute, you are doing it completely right. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. You like that? Cardio. Here we go. Sip of water if you need to. If you're ready, find down dog. If you're still out of breath, just pause for a sec. All right, from your down dog, move into plank again. Come down on your elbows to reduce a little bit of stress on the wrists. And then move your hip from side to side. Now this can be done on the knees as well. You would want to really get the core in, push the navel in towards the spine. And make sure your feet are not together. A little bit of distance that helps you to move more with ease. Again, I am moving faster than I would do in a traditional power yoga class. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe child's pose. Shake things out. Whew. And then grab your weights again. Right leg at the front, left foot at the back, warrior 2. Now, in my case, to keep my arms out like this, just with 3 kilos, that's a lot. So I'm gonna bend my arms like this, and I'm gonna extend my arms out a little bit and shorten them. My legs stand still. So go deep, go wide, open up. Keep the pelvis tucked somewhat in so that your spine is still tall and you have engagement in the core. Bicep and shoulder strength here, if you can't feel it by now. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, extend the front leg. Take the front hand there with the feet pointing forward on the long end of the mat on the inside of the thigh. Now the left arm comes up either overhead. Keep being stacked over the shoulders as you lean forward this time. So this is not triangle. Triangle, I would lean more directly in one direction forward towards the knee, but this time I'm leaning a little bit in to get more the back. Let's use most dorsally, the back of, in this case, my left core. This is where I will not invite you to go with weights if you're not somewhat used to doing some of this. Let's do 5, navel in, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Put the blocks, I was about to say, the weight aside. Step back, down dog. Jump again or walk to the front. Folding forward, shake your shoulders out. And then you step your right foot back. Warrior 2, opposite direction. We're going to do a little bit of different things with our arms. You're going to bring it up here when you've got your warrior 2. So again, front knee over ankle, staying tall and strong. Going to go for the bicep. So one weight or both weights. Bend the elbows, bring them behind your head. Rise up. Okay, that's it. Keep the elbows somewhat towards the temples. And if you can, avoid gathering the weights, because then your elbows, your muscles are actually a little bit more challenged. No need to look forward. Just look straight ahead so that the spine is straight and the neck is not turned or twisted. Let's go for 5. Avoid feeling pain, then take a pause and maybe do a little bit less. 3. Keep bending the front leg. 2. Shaking. 1. Stretch the front leg. You might shorten the distance a little bit. That variation of triangle. Left arm comes to the inside, right arm up, and then lean forward with that direction. I'm just going to turn my mat so you can see it if you're like still a little bit unsure. Down there. Okay, inside. So my butt is moving a little bit out and away from the line of my heels. If the top shoulder is not really liking this, you can always bring the weight here. But get the core involved. 4. Going down slow, feeling the elongation of the muscles, also the QL on the side. It's called courageous lumborum, I think. Just one more. Yeah. Put the weights just on the side, and maybe you take a bit of water if you need that. Step the front of the mat and pause. Now the next thing, you might want to bring your shoes. Because I have a lot of padding here, I like just jumping on this one. Now the strap, you might think it's fun, maybe not. I'm putting it there at the front of the mat actually, and then I'm stepping to the back of the mat. I'm gonna jump past that rope. Hands down, jump over the rope, back to the front. 2 small jumps back. Maybe you've seen that in some of my fitness cardio videos. Now, if you don't jump, just walk everything here. Maybe you don't need the strap. I just love the strap, just to get a bit of focus on where I'm going. Okay, let's see. I'm not going to do a whole lot, but you know what we need in yoga sometimes is that bouncing aspect. And this is what we get here. Notice if you tend to drop in on the sole of the feet, keep the knee strong. As you jump back, maybe into your plank, keep the hip higher maybe than the shoulders. A little bit of a soft bend in the elbows. 2 more. Whew. Out of breath. Take a sip of water. What I hope you will find somewhat fun here is the fact that the cardio part, you can survive. It's not that long. All right. Get some distance in between your feet. Take the strap. If you're still out of breath, pause a little bit more. I am, but it's okay. Navel in, strap on top of my head. Go for the right side, leaning directly to the side. And then you can kind of shorten the distance on the strap and pull it. If you had an elastic band, that would be great too here. We don't need it. So shorten and pull. Shorten and pull. Actually, both hands. And then go to the side. So can you make a sound? 2 more. Like you would tear it apart. Lift up, opposite side. Now, because we focus so much on the arms, we tend to kind of lean up and stand almost tall, but try to keep going there. Strengthen, stretching, dynamic stretch. Opposite side. Keep the shoulders away from the head or the ears. Notice if you can connect to the back part of the shoulder. So your strap is not in front of your head, but maybe a little bit more back. 4. Keep leaning over. 3, 2, 1. Coming up. Let's go more into the legs. Left foot in the strap. We're gonna pull it up towards the front, however you're standing. So shorten the strap as much as you need. Use the other arm for balance. All right. If you're good here, try to loosen the grip on the strap and see if you can keep your leg there without holding the strap. Wow. Super hard. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel it in the quads. Opposite side. And if you're like really challenged on the balance, it's okay to have something to put your finger on for balancing a little bit better. Right foot. And just try to keep your balance for a little bit with the support of the strap. Don't need to stretch out the leg completely. That's fine if you don't. And then loosen the strap. Gaze on the floor maybe. Smile. Ooh, keep it there for 5. Come on, lift. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, my dear thighs. Leave the strap aside. Down dog. This is our pause. Moving into plank. Taking one knee in, doesn't matter which one. Let it hover over the floor. The second one keeps track, hovering over the floor. Then walk in this tabletop position, a little bit back on the mat or the floor. Walk to the front. Maybe a little to the side. Keep the knees very close to the floor. And just, play a little bit. Walk around. And try to go in that direction. That's the most difficult one. 4, 3, 2, 1. Make your way down onto your belly. Bring the strap. Now, maybe you want to go for a weight on the back here. If you're used to it, this is not the best weight to use for the back, but just know you can. And this is the time where you want to go for a great length of the strap, because we're going to bring the arms behind us. Toenails on the floor. So if you can't do what I'm showing you, maybe just accept it or try to go wider on the strap. You might not fold it as I do here. You'll lift your head up. Bring the arms behind you. It doesn't have to go all the way back. Lift up and lower down. Actually, I think I'm going to go not for double strap here. My shoulders enjoy that. Push the thighs down, the pubic bone down the floor as you lift. And lift the elbows away from the floor as you lift the chest off. And don't be too quick. Then we'll do the last one together and you'll follow my counting. We're going to go back on 7. Okay. And then 7 before we're all the way down here again. So, ready, steady, go. Lift up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze the shoulder blade, go to the front. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. How are you feeling by now? Almost ready for a little bit more fun. You're gonna bring maybe the right foot out and the left knee on the floor. bring extra padding if you want to. We're gonna work on the thighs and the glutes a bit more. You can also come up on your fist. So I'm standing in one straight line. See a lot of people doing this, not a straight line. Alrighty. Bring the other arm up, bring the shoulder back, lift this leg off. Now you can just stay put here if that's plenty. Or go for that knee in, lift it up, stretch it out, bring it back without arching too much or bending too much back in the spine. A little bit of a bend is fine. So to the front, lift it up away from the floor, kick out, bend the knee, bring it back, kick it out. Let's just do for 3. Lift. 2. If it's too close to the floor, it might not be hard enough for you. Last one. So a little bit of mobility there. Coordinated with strength. Opposite side. I'm just thinking maybe actually holding on, if you happen to have a weight, can also be really, really nice. Opposite side. Now this arm, I told you to keep it up. You can't just pull it down. Doesn't matter really where it is, as long as you don't lean forward. Okay, up to the front, always harder. Second side, kick out, bending back. Notice your spine somewhat steady and still. Notice if the knee on the floor is saying, padding please, be nice. Last one, lift, bring it really a lot to the front, lift up, kick back, heel towards butt, and then bring it down. Yeehaw! Are you enjoying yourself? You can bring 1, maybe 2 weights. If you're new to this, you would not use weight in between your knees. I'm gonna pack myself up because I love ab exercises. So this one, but because I can't hold the weight here and avoid it dropping in my head, I'm not gonna lift the weight that much up. I don't want to let it drop in my belly or my face, okay? Be mindful. So navel in, and you can even lift the shoulders away for a little bit more. Here you can use your breath. So exhale as you kind of squeeze together. Go high. We are only taking a few reps here, so give it your best. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. And then the last thing, let's try to be creative. Bring the strap. Let's see how this goes. Bring it around both feet. And then you might hold a little bit onto it. You might cross the feet if that makes sense. So you can choose what you want to do. But I'm gonna lift my hip up, my feet up towards the floor. I'm gonna resist a little bit with the strap. So some kind of kick towards the floor. I'm gonna pull my feet a little bit down so I challenge the lower part of my core. So I would go higher if I did not pull down. Come on. A few more. Isn't it fun how we can restrict ourselves? And we might do that if we were Moses resisting to receive help from Aaron, right? But maybe we need that help in whatever you are doing. A few more. So you're not doing what we're doing here, working against yourself with the strap. Let's just finish. Or you might just, hold on actually to get a bit of a stretch there if you like. But I will just go directly to a little bit of a rest. Sigh out. Let your feet drop out, your hands be on the floor. And maybe your mind goes back to the story. Maybe you always have seen Moses as this leader that was God's friend. It says, we are God's friends as well, but it's not many times in the Bible it's said that God is a friend, and Moses, that's said about Moses. So he was a special person, but he needed help. And so do we. Let's receive it. With gratitude. So I'll finish this time with a short prayer. You can pray along or just listen. So God, thank you for lots of odd movement here on the mat. Thank you for the opportunity to strengthen, move the body. And God, I pray that I will not be too proud to receive the help that I need in my life and in what you have called me to do. Let me be either Moses or Aaron, whoever you want me to be. Amen. Before you take a seat, you might just notice how your body is doing. Your spine is okay, your shoulders. We need that awareness sometimes. Also, so you know that if you thought you were going to have pain and you don't, you might be like, oh, I can actually do this. And use that as encouragement. If you feel something, you might just repeat this video next time and then go a little bit easier on the side or whatever you need to. But if you're ready, move fingers and feet and slowly take a seat. Make sure you like this video with a thumb up, share it with a friend, and subscribe to my channel. I'll be most grateful for that. Thank you so much. Blessings on your path.